So we were very fortunate in that in 2018, we really invested a lot of time and energy on a 3-year off-premises program. So we reinvented our website entirely, an all new, very interactive online ordering experience tied into our loyalty, including delivery and curbside. So all that was up and running and live when the pandemic hit. So I was really glad that we had done that. As you mentioned, kind of the core of our concept is that customers come in and they're interacting and creating their own meals. And so when the pandemic shut that down, we really ended up challenged in some senses trying to teach our customers to go on and do more of that online. And fortunate for us that the tools are pretty intuitive. And so we were able to switch a lot of business over there.
Yeah, for sure. And so when did you come out with the ghost kitchen concept stir fry chef?
I think we probably launched that around, I'm not actually remembering the exact day we launched it, but it was probably a couple months into the pandemic where we started thinking about, one of the barriers that customers have to using us online is they think of us as create your own. Whereas we had a great selection of chef-created bowls that we could build for our guests. But because our brand is so strong in the create your own space, people just don't think of us that way. So the idea kind of got born as we started seeing this idea around, people having ghost kitchens. We're like, why couldn't we have what we call a shadow brand, which is, the ability to reposition or have a different brand whose position was all around just great stir-fry dishes that you order, and that would allow us to kind of change our image a little bit and get to a different consumer base, broaden out our sales a bit.
Now, how does it work from an operations standpoint? Is it kind of like a commissary kitchen type of deal, or and does it have the same menu as Genghis?
So it's a different menu because these are composed bowls. So there's 12 recipe bowls, whereas most of the time when people come to Genghis Grill, we do have some recipe bowls that you can order. But most of our guests create their own. That's kind of the fun in it. So this is more a traditional pad thai, Mongolian beef, kung pao. So we created flavor profiles with our chefs where customers could still pick a protein. So they wanted steak or chicken or shrimp. They could customize the dish that way, but they were designed to be, some of America's favorite Asian meals. And so that's what we created so that it was a lot easier for our customers to interact with in a more traditional restaurant way. But as far as how it works in the back of the house, the beauty of this for our franchisees and our operators is it's actually using the exact same food that we have today. So we have the capability with our 80 ingredients and sauces to make all these dishes. So it wasn't, we didn't need to have an off-premise commissary. We didn't need to really bring in any additional food. It was just a matter of repackaging and, quite frankly, just positioning ourselves differently to our customers.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of buffet-centric concepts such as yourselves had to kind of rethink their operation strategies during the pandemic, especially since, restaurants or dining rooms were closed down and people probably didn't feel comfortable, may even still not feel comfortable kind of getting up from a common line and kind of getting their food from that buffet line. And so, but the thing I think that it's kind of fun to, like you said, it's the point of it is to be fun to do that. So were you kind of worried about guests missing out on that experience? And kind of how did you try and add experience to the ghost kitchen concept?
Well, that's the point is that it's a very different concept. So it's a concept just like any other Asian concept where you would go in and you just order the food you want. Mm-hmm. And so it was designed to be simple and easy and intuitive because that's the way customers order from just about any other restaurant. One of the differentiating points of Genghis Grill is all that flexibility and your ability to create your own. But there's a group of customers that don't really want to create their own. They just want to order a great tasting stir-fry bowl. And so what that allowed us to do is really tap into a more digital savvy, younger consumer base, and a consumer base that probably wasn't thinking of Genghis Grill to begin with. So what we believe is that this business that we're getting through Stir Fry Chef is very incremental.
Hmm. For sure. And what has the guest response been to the ghost kitchen concept so far?
So far it seems like it's been really good. We have a couple items that have been, super popular. Some that we anticipated. Teriyaki is a big seller. Mongolian steak is a big seller. But our surprise big seller is our supreme fried rice. It's a fantastic product. But that's a product we typically hadn't sold at Genghis Grill. So, one of the things is the really strong customer response we got from that product. That one actually came backwards and went on the Genghis Grill menu because it was, something that our guests really loved. And it was the sort of thing you really aren't going to be able to build yourself. So, that was something we actually added to our permanent menu.
Yeah, and what is in that fried rice?
Well, there's steak, there's chicken, there's shrimp. So imagine a fried rice, but it's got a ton of protein in it, right? So it's not meant to be a side. It's really meant to be a meal. And because of that, I think our customers really like it. It's very filling. It tastes great, but it's a tremendous value.
Do you feel like you're kind of reaching a new demographic with this new concept?
Yeah, we really do. It's somewhat difficult because so much of the business it's a third-party delivery business right now. So there are plans in the future for us to bring this into, an entire kind of its own website, in which case we'll get a lot better information on the customer base. But that's really what we believe we're seeing, is that this is a much sort of younger customer. The other thing is that these bowls being a little bit more mainstream, and we can be a little bit healthier as we think about how we're building them. And so that gives us another tool for, as we think about beginning of next year, broadening the base even more in terms of people that are more health interested and might not think about our core concept that way.
Speaking of where you're taking it in the future, now, obviously, you introduced the Stir Fry Chef at the beginning of the pandemic. Where is it now? How have you sort of evolved it? And what are you looking at next?
Yeah, so right now we're kind of in a steady, kind of a steady kind of wait and see mode on Stir Fry Chef. So, we rolled it out. I think it was a nice additional revenue stream for us. We're kind of waiting to see what happens as everybody gets back out there, and what is the future of these concepts? Do people stay in delivery? Our next step for that really was launching the branded website. So we're kind of watching and seeing, making sure that this business is something that is going to continue to stay strong. So as we launch the website, that gives us another avenue for driving sales, so we can start putting more advertising behind it, which is something we haven't really done yet.
Mm-hmm. And is it available in all of your restaurants?
So right now it's available in 38 of the 51 restaurants. So we rolled it out in all the company restaurants, and then gave the option to our franchisees. One of the interesting parts of this business is because it's just utilizing the exact same food that we have today, the labor you have in-house. It's very, very easy for our franchisees to get into this business. It costs them less than $1,000 to really open this up. But right now, with everybody having the challenges they are in labor, some of our franchisees have chosen to kind of wait and see what happens with our core business. We're getting a lot of people coming back into dining rooms, and so sales are tracking at above 2019 levels right now for us. So we're very busy, and so some of our franchisees are a little concerned about, would I be able to handle the extra sales? And so that's been something that they've been kind of wanting to wait and see how sales progress on the core business before they commit to launching.
That is quite a deal for a franchisee. That's amazing. I feel like usually you have to invest in hundreds of thousands of dollars usually to open a franchise restaurant.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of this. We're leveraging the investment they already have. It's staff they already have. It's food they already have. It's leveraging the cooking platform they already have. So it was very intentional that way, that we would make this fast and easy. When we originally thought of the concept, it was an imperative that we get this up as fast as possible. As you know, during the pandemic, it became like really important that everybody pivot and get to new things quickly. And so that was, you know, in part a way for us to reduce the incoming costs, but also a way for us to get up and running quickly.
Mhm. And to what do you attribute the sales growth over 2019 levels?
You know, I think right now what we're seeing is our customers are coming back to our dining room, and we're able to hold on to a lot of the off-premises business that we built during the pandemic. So I think the big question for a lot of us in the industry is how much of that business maintains. So, you know, our delivery business is very healthy. Our carryout business is very healthy right now. And so we're interested as dining rooms have come back, we're starting to see, you know, about 90% of the traffic that we would have had pre-pandemic in our dining rooms, but our off-premises sales are up significantly, over doubled. And so because of that, you know, that's pushing us into, you know, positive territory in terms of sales growth.
For sure. And so how do you envision your original brick and mortar concept evolving at this stage of the pandemic or even post-pandemic?
Yeah, so I think like many restaurant companies right now, we're reevaluating what our prototype looks like. So you know, we had built a new restaurant in 2019, really refreshed the prototype based on what's happened now in terms of the shift in sales and the importance of off-premise and delivery. We're reevaluating the balance of you know, how much room do we need to have for kitchen in particular to produce that to-go menu items, and then you know, how many seats do we really need? So we're readjusting a little bit in our prototype, and we're looking to build another restaurant in about 6 months down in Houston with that kind of readjusted footprint, right? It's nothing radical, but you know, as we evolve, we're anticipating that, you know, 30–40% of the business will be in a to-go format, and so we need to make sure that we have really good access for our customers coming in and out.